Well, guys, this might be it. This might be the last Rise of the Beast Studio Series video I do for quite some time. We do have Wheeljack coming, but other than that, they've pretty much covered it all. I really hope we get a Commander class Stratosphere. I really do. That would be amazing. But we have Nightbird, Novakane, and Noah Diaz in his exosuit here. 2 core classes and 1 deluxe. We're going over them again because I loved the movie and I love the toys from the movie, and all 3 of these are pretty cool. I think the core classes are pretty, they are what they are, but the Nightbird is actually very impressive. My first impression was a little but as I transformed it and everything, I was like, wow, I actually really like this thing. And if you want to see my first impressions of these toys, I did a live stream. I decided to open them up in a live stream, and I did, and thanks to everyone that tuned in for that. But yeah, here's the actual review of them. Let's just get Novakane out of the way. He's Freezer, but he's got a scar on his head. That's pretty much it. Let me grab Freezer. He's right here. So you can see their colors are kind of different. I feel like Novakane's a little bit more on the goldy side, but they're the same toy. That's what they were in the movie. They're pretty much 2 of the same guy, but Novakane just has a scar on his face. I don't remember if he got the scar in the movie or if he just already had it. I don't remember. I actually need to rewatch the movie. I've only seen it the once in theaters, and that's one of the little tiny details that you can't really pick up on the first time you watch it. So let me know in the comments, did he have that scar from the beginning, or did he earn it in the movie? I genuinely don't remember. But yeah, it is cool that they did make a separate figure, so we can have both of Scourge's little minion guys, and they're both the same. They do the same things. The articulation is the same. I'm sure most of you guys already have had Freezer for a little bit. It's got the hinge. For some reason, my Novakane, the head pops off kind of easily, but it's on a ball joint. Each arm is on a ball joint and a ball joint. And then the legs are on a ball joint and, what do you know, a ball joint and, another ball joint. So yeah, he's just a ball jointy little core class guy. That's just what he is. He's cool though. I'm really happy we got him. It's Novakane. What an odd name. What an odd name. Transformation's the same as all the other, Freezers. I'm so happy I held off on getting a second Freezer because I don't do duplicates for my Transformers collection. I don't like getting the same toy twice. So I'm happy that they actually did a Novakane. I wonder, is that detail different? Is like the gun thing any different? Let's figure that out. I'm not going to fully transform Freezer. I just want to see. It's a little different. You can see it's slightly different. You can kind of tell that's more orangey, that's more yellow. Kind of cool. They have some little subtle differences, but they're, in theory, identical. And then with the legs, I know there's like different ways to do this. This thing can like tab in, and like the arms can tab into each other for like one of the modes. Like this is how it tabs in, and then the legs just either hang out there or they go up and they can do the different things they do. Honestly, the alt modes are pretty bogus on this mold. I've already reviewed Freezer. I'm not gonna transform this guy again into his other weird modes. You can make him a gun thing for Scourge, which is cool. I don't really think you can really have these guys like mounted on his back though, because they just kind of came out of him. But still, it is very nice to have Novakane and Freezer. I definitely do appreciate it. So I'm done talking about Novakane. We're done. He's Freezer, but he is with a scar. That's what his deal is. Noah then, a very, very interesting and pretty divisive toy. Because, yes, it's his exosuit. This is a human figure, which is really cool. But it's not super accurate. I don't know. I feel like it could have used a little bit more paint in the head sculpt. It's probably just concept art, right? But instead of having like his actual face or just a full visor, he's kind of got like this Boba Fett looking like blue thing, which looks really cool, but it's not accurate to the movie. He does have the sword though. That's accurate. He does have like the silvers and some of the Mirage blues and, some multi-grays. So I think the color scheme's all right. But essentially, it's a Transformers toy, so it had to transform, right? So what they decided to do to make it a transforming figure is they basically put a jet on his back. So this is basically like a G2 spy jet, but it's Noah Diaz in his exosuit. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this retooled into like one of those spy jet characters. I think that'd be pretty cool. Those were from G2, right? Those little spy jet guys. I've always wanted to get one. I haven't gotten one yet. I think they might have also been in like Machine Wars, if I'm not mistaken. They're like the little basic class sized jets that they did back in the 90s. He's basically just a modern version of those. But one great thing, you can detach him. They didn't make it attached to him. When I first saw the pictures, I was like, oh god. They just put the exosuit like on... They just put a jet on the back of the exosuit. But thankfully it is detachable. I'm just going to transform it so we can kind of get that out of the way before I can actually talk about the toy, because the transformation is pretty expected to, you know, what you would expect with something like this. Pretty much the robot just goes straight. And then this puts like this puts Silverbolt to shame, man. Like, Silverbolt at least does something. This is literally just, here is plane, here is robot under plane. You can put the gun in the front, though, and it's got, like, a cannon. It's like a drone plane thing. Woo, so cool. So cool, guys. It's so cool. Let's just not. How about that? Let's just not. Thankfully, it is detachable, and I feel like this is kind of cool on its own. It does have a flip-down peg, so you could actually like mount it to somebody or have the character mount it or something like that. You can use this, but still, it's just kind of a waste of time, I think. And it's also a waste of paint budget, because you see it's got a lot of nice metallic blue paint that I would have loved to see on this guy. I don't know, I feel like his chest is just missing a little bit, you know? At least he has some paint on his arms and legs, but I don't know, man. He's just lacking some paint. But it's okay. At the end of the day, this is a little ball-jointy figure of Noah Diaz in his exosuit. Will they sell us another one with a more accurate head? They might, or they might not. I don't know. Sometimes for these movie figures, they just kind of call it a day. But honestly, putting this aside, you know, this was just an excuse to make it a transforming toy. It's kind of neat. It's whatever. My only complaint is that I wish it didn't take up so much paint, because like if this was just plain gray and he had more blue on this, I think that would have been better. But yeah, we just have a nice ball-jointy figure of Noah Diaz in his exosuit. Honestly, my only real complaint's that head. That's my only real complaint. But then again, it does still look really cool. It's just not accurate. So he's got a ball joint at said head that can move up pretty well, which is cool. Ball joints at the shoulder, ball joints at the elbows. I do really like the blade. I think it's really cool. He's got the blade. He's got actually a ball joint at the waist, which is really cool. Ball jointed hips. I'm just gonna roll with that little little tongue slip I had. Ball joints at the knees and ball joints at the foot. So yeah, he's a ball jointy robot boy. You can have him do the slide me do's, you know. Bring me the smoke and I'll build you. It's that scene where the boo yeah, and he's like cha on my soul. It's Noah. It's a fun little toy. It's cool. Is it a little too big? Probably. Here, let me just bring in Bumblebee and Optimus. How about that? So we just kind of get a size comparison. Like, yeah, it's probably a little too big. Yeah, he's in his exosuit, but it's probably a little too big. Let me bring in Prime. I mean, it is cool, though. It is cool. I do like it, but it's just a little, you know, a little too big. But it's Transformers. We're not worried about scale here. I mean, what are we talking about? Transformers and scale? You kidding me? That is not a thing. So yeah, there's Noah. He's cool. I like him. So yeah, let's set him off to the side. I actually do like him a lot more than I expected. I genuinely do. And Nightbird, another figure I like a lot more than I expected, because I already have the mainline Nightbird, and she is a pretty cool toy, but I think the Studio Series is just a little bit cooler because it just is, question mark. I mean, it's not super accurate. Her wings are kind of tiny, and she only has one little sword, but still, it's a cool one. I think the Studio Series Nightbird is really cool. I like how the chest forms. I like how it kind of has like some feathery armor. It still has like the skirting armor on the side. I love the head sculpt on the Studio Series too, because it actually has like a clear like visor. I know she has a battle mask because there's one scene in the movie where you can actually see her mouth move. I am happy they decided to go with the battle mask look because it's more of like a classic G1 Nightbird. You know, she was a ninja with a battle mask. And it is kind of interesting too, isn't it? How they turned Nightbird from like a, you know, a man-made like robot from G1 into an actual like, you know, spawn of Unicron. That's kind of interesting. I'm kind of surprised KSI didn't make Nightbird, you know? Why wasn't Nightbird in Age of Extinction? Oh yeah, because Michael Bay isn't a fan and he just does things and throws names on them. But yeah, the mainline one's pretty cool. I can definitely say the mainline has less kibble going on. It has less junk in the trunk. But, you know, it is what it is. I will transform the mainline one as a bit of a comparison, but I've done like a full-on review of the mainline. It's a pretty cool figure. It does have like a separate claw accessory thing, which you can use. But this one, the Studio Series, the claws are just kind of molded into the arms, which I think is fine. You know, she's got the claws. They're there. The mainline one is definitely interesting. It has like this floopy chest that doesn't really tab in, so that's kind of annoying. But thankfully, the chest, like I said, on the Studio Series is really nicely done, at least in my opinion. Because it has like a multi-hinge thing. I think it's packaged like this. It's packaged where the chest is kind of like spread out and everything. And it's just kind of like, oh, whatever. It's, you know, a chest. I think it's packaged like this, right? But you actually like move it and pinch it in and it kind of like forms a robot chest. And I think it's really cool. I'm spending way too much time talking about this robot woman's chest. Let's move on. The wings are cool. I like the wings. I love the purple wheels. The purple wheels are so cool. That is thankfully something the mainline also did. But I think the Studio Series ones, they look better. They look better. The Studio Series 2 doesn't have all this gold, like this bronzy color. Because, I mean, the character design does have a little bit of gold trim on the bottom. You know, that is the car mode. But I feel like the mainline kind of took it and overdid it a bit. I don't know, it's just a bit much. But they're both really nice. I do enjoy them both. I will probably keep them both in my collection. So articulation on Studio Series Nightbird. Ball joint, ball joint. It's got a little hingy-do for the armor. It's got a swivel and it's got a hinge-me-do. She got a swivel. She got a universal. She got a swivel. She got a hinge. She got a hinge. She got a pivot. She got a little toe. The skirt can move, which is actually really good for certain poses. It's good that the skirt can kind of move out of the way a bit more. So yeah, cool Nightbird. I actually really like it. I like the look of it. I like the color. I do want to get in a little closer on that head again, because I think the head design is just so cool for Rise of the Beast Nightbird. And it's just so sweet. I do want to do it, though, before I transform her into her vehicle mode. I do want to finally see all three of the Studio Series Terrorcons together. So there's Nightbird, Mr. Someone Give Me a Real Fight, and their leader, Scourge. Man, Scourge is huge. Honestly, seeing Scourge next to Battletrap, it almost does justify his leader class price point. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had to raise the camera up that much. Yeah, this is cool. I still need to get a new head for my Scourge, but it is so cool having the Terrorcons. And why not? Why not? What am I doing? Let's go ahead and put... Oh, I forgot there is a Studio Series Scorponok coming out too, isn't there? That's kind of cool. I do have the, like the mainline Scorponok, which I figured that would be fine to have because there were several Scorponoks. I could just kind of army build them, but they're different toys. But here's the Studio Series Terrorcon team. That is sweet. That is absolutely awesome. Let's fix his shoulder. His shoulder's kind of slumpy. But yeah, that's cool. I really do like how the teams for this movie were pretty close knit, pretty small. There weren't a lot of extra characters that didn't really have anything to do. Everybody kind of had a part to play, except for Rhinox. He was just kind of there. But I love Rise of the Beast, and it's so cool having all these guys. Alright, so getting the Studio Series Nightbird transformed is actually pretty fun. At least it was for me the first time I did it about an hour ago. So One thing, like I said, I really do love how the chest comes together, especially for the robot mode. I just think that's so well done. And it really just kind of adds the shape to the robot. Because I love when like certain chest transformations actually add the shape. Like Studio Series Jazz. I love how it kind of turns it around to actually add the shape of the chest. I just feel like some Transformers, especially like older ones, it's like, oh yeah, you just, do the chest and there you go. And it's like, oh, the car hood is just to the chest, even though in the movie there's actual defined shape. So thank you. Which is basically the difference between the main line and Studio Series Nightbird, is that the main line just has the hood of the car, but with Studio Series actually added the shape. The legs go together so much better on the Studio Series. Like, it's just so much cleaner. I don't know, I just enjoy this transformation a lot more than the main line. I just feel like it comes together a lot smoother and like things actually cooperate, which is almost unheard of for like a Studio Series car transformer. Like actually being able to say that everything actually does what you want it to do. Like things actually tab in when you want them to tab in. It's almost unheard of. One of the most difficult things is you want to make sure that hinge does the hinge thing first. That's like one of the more difficult things. And you want to make sure the arm is actually in when you close up the side, because otherwise it's not really going to close up too well. And last but not least, we're pretty much done. We just take this assembly and we do a little flip me do with this. Take this around the back, tab it in, and then we just fold this up in some way, shape, or form. I'm trying to remember how. Like that. There we go. There we go. And we just take the sword, plug it underneath. It goes like right here. This is what the instructions says. So instructions say sword goes there. Oh, maybe it goes in. Oh, okay, it goes in like that. I thought it was like in that hole, but it's actually that little groove. Okay, there we go. It's so annoying. There's space for 2 swords, and she only came with 1. But anyways, there's a transformation. That was very pleasant. I really enjoyed the transformation on this. And the reason I'm emphasizing that is because during the jump, I also transformed the mainline one. And I did not have nearly as much fun transforming the mainline one. I think that's why I had a negative expectation of this Nightbird, because this one's transformation is a little annoying. So, ultimately, they're both pretty cool toys. I definitely think the Studio Series is the winner. It's more accurate, it looks nicer, the transformation's more fun, the robot mode's more fun. I would go with the Studio Series. One of the only main lines that I feel like is significantly better than the Studio Series is probably Mirage. The mainline Mirage is pretty solid. But again, it has no paint, so it's a give and take. But, I mean, the mainline's put out some good stuff, but I don't know, man. I think if you're just someone going for Studio Series, you're not really missing out on enough with the mainline to really worry yourself about it. But this vehicle mode looks really nice. It's a Nissan, I'm pretty sure. Not much of a car guy, but it's a very nice Nissan mode. Oh, it's got a little tiny painted Terrorcon logo in the front. That is incredible. I love that little detail. Yeah, both of these are really cool, but I definitely have to go with this one. So there we go, guys. There is another Rise of the Beast Studio Series episode said and done. I'll have another one when Wheeljack and Scorponok come out. But other than that, this is it for now. We've had a little adventure with more Rise of the Beast Studio Series. And these are some pretty solid additions to the collection. Filling out some characters, finishing the Terrorcons pretty much, and giving us Noah Diaz, which is a cool one, but again, I don't know. It's just a slight victim of concept art syndrome. Maybe we'll get... Honestly, a RED one would be cool. A robot-enhanced design where it's basically like a Marvel Legends of him. That would be neat. Or maybe like a 6th scale, like a 3-0 Noah Diaz in exosuit would actually be really sweet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I really did enjoy his exosuit. It was kind of cool finally seeing that in the live-action movies. Alrighty, guys, there we go. Let me know what you think about these down in the comments below. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.